do you make illusions seem real? The people who create these special effects are using basic visual techniques developed over 500 years ago by the masters of the Renaissance. In many ways, this special effects crew actually faces the same challenge that intrigued artists centuries ago: how to make a flat picture appear three-dimensional and believable. The people here are ultimately working with a flat movie screen. The Renaissance artists were working with a flat canvas, a wooden panel, or even a giant wall the size of a movie screen. Centuries ago, the masters revolutionized our understanding of optics and visual perception, and the techniques they developed became the basic building blocks of visual art still used today. Let's go back to Italy during the Renaissance, that time of remarkable scientific and artistic discovery when some extraordinary thinkers were changing our understanding of the world, and the Renaissance artists were changing how we see it. Even today, the city of Florence stands as a monument to the Renaissance masters. The dome of this cathedral, among other great landmarks in Florence, was designed by this man, the architect Brunelleschi. He also provided the scientific basis for the illusion known as linear perspective. In the early 1400s, when he was investigating the proportions of interior spaces, he discovered, or perhaps rediscovered, something so deceptively simple it had eluded generations of his predecessors. The key principle is that parallel lines appear to recede in the distance and converge at a single point, the vanishing point. Brunelleschi's theory provided the basis for achieving this illusion scientifically. This system for linear perspective seems very simple, but it took centuries of artistic experimentation for it to be established. You can see that earlier paintings tend to have a flat look to them. Without a definite system for linear perspective, these works still lacked the three-dimensionality we have come to expect from the works of later periods. An artist named Giotto, who some consider the father of Renaissance painting, came close to achieving true linear perspective. In these works, you can see how Giotto relied on his powers of observation to create as much depth as possible. Although he clearly observed that parallel lines seemed to recede into the distance, he fell just short of establishing an actual system for linear perspective. His method was approximate. If we converge these same lines to a vanishing point according to Brunelleschi's later discovery, the architecture pulls together into a structure with convincing depth. This extraordinary work by Masaccio, called the Trinity, finished in the 1420s, was the first painting known to demonstrate true linear perspective. It was as if the artist had dissolved the wall and created a new room. One of the many new horizons opened for the first time during the Renaissance, as Western society began one of its greatest periods of intellectual discovery.